Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Attack on Cowboys, and we have a dark horse candidate for the Dallas Cowboys head coaching position that I don't think anybody was thinking of is now the betting favorite to land the job. And no, it's not Kellen Moore. Let's get right into this. Be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe for more Dallas Cowboys content as we're on the road to 30K. Now, for real though, y'all help my boy out. Subscribe, man. I really try to get to that 30K. The more support y'all show me, man, I appreciate it greatly. So please subscribe for me. But we have Bobby Belt here reporting off of a Pro Football Talk article. And we're going to go through this article real quick and read about this. But Schottenheimer's buzz is getting louder and louder on my phone this morning, and this is after Brian Schottenheimer is now the new betting favorite at minus 250 to land the Dallas Cowboys head coaching job. Now, for those of you who don't know, Brian Schottenheimer is the offensive coordinator, or was the offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys this past season. It's just that he was essentially calling Mike McCarthy's playbook. And he has a pretty good relationship with Dak Prescott. We've heard Dak Prescott be pretty complimentary of him. And honestly, from a continuity standpoint, especially if you're going to bring a Brian Schottenheimer in and promote an Al Harris to a DC, or bring in a defensive coordinator like a Robert Saleh. If you're going to do something like that, then that is more of like a, hey, we're trying to make the best of this current iteration of the Dallas Cowboys we possibly can. We're trying to keep the familiarity high enough on the offensive side of the ball to where we don't have to go all the way backwards with our quarterback, who's now going to be in year 10, and we don't really need to start all the way over as if we have a rookie quarterback. We're going to maximize on this opportunity. Brian Schottenheimer already has a relationship with Dak. He knows what Dak likes as a quarterback. He knows his tendencies, his traits, his weaknesses, his strengths. So from a perspective of trying to get the most out of your unit, this would kind of make sense. It would just be extremely underwhelming as a Dallas Cowboys fan. And remember, we're putting our analysis hat on. We're putting our analyst hat on. So we're not going to be leading with emotion here. Emotionally, I want to go jump out of a window while simultaneously drinking a whole gallon of bleach from this kind of news. And it's not because I don't like Schottenheimer or anything like that. It's just, man, if we're going to do something new, if we're going to do something different, let's do something new, man. Let's do something different. But let's get into this article real quick. Current Cowboys offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer now leads the way at negative 250. Eagles offensive coordinator Kellen Moore, who spent 5 years on the coaching staff in Dallas, previously was the favorite. He's now plus 250. The initial favorite, Colorado coach Deion Sanders, has plunged to plus 750 with 6 others in front of him. That is actually kind of freaking ridiculous, man. Here's why Schottenheimer makes sense. Quarterback Dak Prescott wants continuity. He doesn't want to learn a new offense. If, as it appears, Coach Mike McCarthy is gone simply because he and owner Jerry Jones couldn't agree on the length of a new deal, why not bump Schottenheimer up and keep it going? Here's why Schottenheimer doesn't make sense. Now 51, he has never been a head coach at any level. He has never been a serious candidate to be an NFL head coach. He has failed as an offensive coordinator in multiple NFL stops, and it would not be an inspired hire to say the least. But it would give Jones someone who would be sufficiently grateful for the opportunity to not complain about the owner's habit of conducting multiple interview radios per week and post-game media scrums and treating the workplace like it was a music park. All right, so that was a little bit of home cooking on the end of that mug right there. But Brian Schottenheimer to the Dallas Cowboys, that is something that's kind of been bubbling up a little bit over the last couple of days. And I get it, but I just don't. There's no way that Jerry Jones feels like this would be the move to make. This right here would almost feel like a throwing in the towel type of move. Like it was too hard for you to go outside the building and find someone that was actually legitimately capable of doing the job that you need them to do. There are several head coaching candidates, or at least 3 or 4 head coaching candidates right now that are available this season that are premium head coaching type candidates, man. You got an Aaron Glenn, you got a Ben Johnson, you got a Joe Brady. Hell, Deion Sanders was floating around out there for a little bit. I would take Deion at that point. And even if you're going to bring a Brian Schottenheimer in, I'll say this. I'll be the first to say this, man. If you're going to bring Brian Schottenheimer in, you might as well go ahead and bring Kellen. And look, I know, no one wants Kellen Moore in Dallas. No one wants Kellen Moore in Dallas less than I do. Trust me. But if Kellen Moore makes it to a Super Bowl, potentially wins a Super Bowl, calling the offense, showing an increased level of discipline in his offensive play calling with sticking to its working, like riding Saquon Barkley the way any offensive coordinator should be riding Saquon Barkley right now, because Kellen has most definitely been getting the most usage out of Saquon Barkley that he needs to get out of him, and he's keeping Jalen Hurts out of harm's way with the way he's been calling the games. Look, at that point, Kellen Moore would be as good of option as a Brian Schottenheimer, or probably a better option, because he literally would have just came off of calling a Super Bowl winning offense. So yeah, I don't know about this Brian Schottenheimer thing. This right here feels like, to me, it would almost chase off any other candidates from the job, and it's essentially letting everybody know, like, hey, go take other jobs. We're waiting on Kellen. If you're making it known, if you're trying to really make it a thing to where, oh, Brian Schottenheimer might be the head coach, you're bringing in Kellen, because what you're actually looking at, why you're actually seeing more buzz, why there's probably conversations actually happening with the Cowboys and Brian Schottenheimer, it's probably conversations about keeping him on as the offensive coordinator when Kellen Moore does come back as the head coach. Just think about it. It honestly makes a whole lot of sense. Someone who's never had a head coaching job, someone who's never actually been considered seriously for an NFL head coaching job, why else would the Jones family be bringing him up and trying to discuss anything with him? It's probably the possibility of him staying on as the offensive coordinator under Kellen Moore. I think that we are seeing the Joneses kind of do this thing in reverse. I think we're seeing them actually go and get all the other positional coaches and different needs out the way, because they already know they want to hire Kellen Moore. And I think that a lot of the interviews and a lot of the names we're actually seeing pop up, some of these names may actually be getting interviewed for positions that's not necessarily the head coach. They may be coming in there for a head coach position, but then towards the end of the conversation, Jerry might be like, how would you feel about coming in here as a defensive coordinator or as an offensive coordinator? Or how would you feel about coming in here, coming to the Cowboys as a position? I feel like Jerry is going around and handpicking a coaching staff for Kellen Moore right now, because think about it, Kellen Moore really doesn't have a coaching tree. He was born in Dallas. So what other situation gives Jerry the opportunity to handpick every coach on his staff than bringing Kellen Moore in as the head coach? I think that's what we're seeing, and I think that's what this noise around Brian Schottenheimer is. And at this point, that's my prediction. Kellen Moore is our head coach. Probably going to see Brian Schottenheimer brought back as the OC, and we may see an Al Hibbers or even maybe a Mike Zimmer come back as a defensive coordinator. I think Mike Zimmer will probably come back as a defensive coordinator, as like an assistant head coach type of position to Kellen Moore, or just maybe a defensive coordinator and actually get to do it the way he wants to do it without having the insecure Mike McCarthy walking around all anxious and nervous because he doesn't know if one of these capable coaches on the staff is going to take his job. I think that that's kind of what we're seeing take form here, and I'm on to you, Jerry. I'm on to you. Let me know what you think about all this down in the comments below, and we same old cow.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Hey! I'm still them boys.